Good, what's good? It's your man 100 grand Ross, but the rock never stops. These Detroit Pistons just seem to find a way to keep rolling. And tonight, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. This evening, we get, I would say, a real test. A real test because we're expecting back our starters, at least Cade and Duran. We are expecting to really go for this NBA Cup, which I think Philadelphia is as well, which means that it's going to be a highly competitive, contested bout. And we just finished smacking the Philadelphia 76ers only a couple games back. So they should be highly motivated to get their lick back. And so, when somebody wants to get their lick back, oh, you better be locked in because they're going to go from beginning to end trying to run you out the gym. I want to dive into that in this video, but before I do, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Remember, it's a small thing for you, a big thing for me and the channel. I appreciate all the love and support. It makes a difference. Remember, just a right little like, little subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe share. That takes a little bit more energy. You know what I mean? Send a little share, and then if you really want to go big, right? Go big or go home. Right? You hit that bell for notifications. So anytime that I'm up, you're up. All right. And if you want to be a dope subscriber, send me a super chat. Your boy appreciates all the love. And if you do send a super chat, you know how I do. I stop, I pause, we lock in on what you're talking about. Gives you a little moment of shine, moment of conversation between you and I. All right. With that, let me dive into this. I want to give a big shout out to a Detroit Pistons channel. It's a smaller channel, significantly smaller channel, even next to my small channel. It's called Res Ball TV. Res Ball TV. Go check them out. They start off with their indigenous language welcome greeting. I think it's really dope to kind of have that culture. But they had, I would say, a douse of cold water on your boy. And I appreciated it. I appreciated it because they had some real points of critique and concern about this team, about this roster that I really had not considered fully. Some of the things I had, but not all of it. Not all of it. So when I go into what to expect for this upcoming game, I'm going to be drawing from a little bit of that just to kind of sober our expectations, or at least at the bare minimum, acknowledge that there are more factors in play that we should maybe kind of hedge our bets for. One of the things that they talked about from the very beginning is when you go back and you look at who we have played during the beginning of this season, it has not been the best of competition. It has not been the best of competition. These first 11 games has not been the steepest of comp. We haven't been going up against OKC, Denver, not even the Lakers. Haven't been going up against fully healthy Knicks. Right. And the one time we faced Cleveland, granted, it was on the second day of a back to back, but we got mollywopped. Right. We got ran out the gym. We got sunned. We got big broed. Right. So when we think about the level of competition, we have to kind of like pause a little bit. Memphis, Washington, right? These are squads that are still, bottom feeders. You got teams like the Orlando Magic still struggling to figure themselves out, even though they seem like they might be turning a corner. You got teams that like the Dallas Mavericks on struggle, right? We've been beating teams that not exactly looking on the high end of a championship run. Now, I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to fold you. I'm not going to tell you to say the team sucks or anything like that. That would be absurd. That would be obnoxious. It would be completely uncouth. What I will say is that as we continue this season, recognize that there are things that we are still working on. There are things that this team still has to get better at. There are things that, despite our record, we need to have a sober assessment. That's one thing the good book talks about, having a sober assessment. You look in the mirror and have a sober assessment and don't forget what you see when you look in the mirror. Right? Let me see. YY234 Life in the chat. Appreciate you showing up and popping in. Got to give you a props, OG. Said to the rest. guys, and they showed you why. Yes, I did say that. That was something else they talked about on Res Ball TV. Go check them out. Are you going to the game, Leading Lions? That's what's up. Enjoy. Let me know how it went. Uh, Carbon Cat said Rockets, though. Yeah, but the Rockets are early on in the season, still figuring out what they're trying to do with Amen Thompson now running the show instead of Fred Van Vliet. We caught them early, right? Not on this run, not on this role where people have settled into their roles a little bit more, right? Now they're starting Josh Okogie instead of Steven Adams, right? They're making adjustments to their lineup still. Reed Shepard is finally beginning to get his legs under him, like stuff like that. So I don't want to discount beating the Rockets because I think it's a testament to our overwhelming defense and what the Detroit Pistons do. At the same time, it's also a testament to where this team was at as well. So I kind of want to just be more inclusive within the narrative and not just hyper focus on the parts that make us feel good. YY 2023 for life. That's true. But the biggest thing about the NBA is beating the team you're supposed to beat, and we can still get better. Thank you. That is, man, that's exactly where I want to go with this. That's exactly where I want to go with this. We are beating the teams we're supposed to beat, and that is a sign of a team that's turning the corner. That is a sign of a team that has taken the next step. You're taking care of business against the teams you're supposed to. The teams that ain't got it together, still figuring it out, still disjointed, getting their chemistry together, unglued, unhinged, don't know why they're there, have no culture, no identity. The leader is gone. They got a lot of injuries. We are culling the group, as they say, right? We're knocking off the weak ones, right? That's what's supposed to happen when you're a good team. This is a good team. They're number one in the East for a reason because they're a good team. But we're still talking about where we have to go. Where we have to go. Yes, I was saying rest Cade and Durant. Rest them. They are not thoroughbreds who can play 82 games. Maybe Mikal Bridges can. That's not our guys. That's not Cade and Durant. I don't want to be under any type of misconception about them because if we are, we're going to set the wrong expectation. The goal for Cade and Durant is to get past 65 games. That qualifies them for all the awards, All-Star game, All NBA, All Defensive if they make it, right? All the accolades. And it makes sure that they're fresh for the playoffs. Those of you still talking about, no, they need to play all 82. That's just what's wrong with this generation of the NBA. Get out of here. What that tells me is that you're not paying attention to how things have changed. One constant thing in life is change. It's change, and you got to change with it, my boy. You can't expect that they play the same way they did in the 90s when MJ and Scotty could sit back around the free throw line 15 feet and in and pack the paint while a guy on the perimeter above the three-point line just sits there and doesn't even stare at the rim. That's how they used to play. Inside out. Now they play outside in. It's a completely different game. And even then, guys were getting injuries. Did we forget Isaiah Thomas's injury that ended his career prematurely? Right? Like, guys weren't going all 82 just because MJ was able to, because he was a freak of an athlete. But don't forget, he sat out a whole season for an injury and he took a break towards the tail end of his career, at least in the bottom third of the career. He took a 2-year hiatus. Like, let's not act like Jordan was just day in and day out. Not everybody can be LeBron. Not everybody can be Kareem. And even Kareem had injuries, bro. So let's be real about it. We're in the game of winning over a longest possible stretch. You got to assess your team and your players based upon who they are, not who you are wanting them to be and trying to compare them against. That would be foolhardy, right? That's the same junk that Grant Hill got caught up in and started playing on that ankle, right? And we let him. The Pistons let him. And we lost a superstar. We lost a superstar because of it. Let's not do that again. On back-to-backs, we need to really assess how many minutes has Cade and Durant been playing leading up until then, considering the fact that Tobias is still out, Ivy is still out, Sasser is still out. We've got a lot of injuries. In consideration of that, we know that those two are going to carry a lion's share of the offense. And because we're still asking them to show up and play Detroit brand defense, the wear and tear on their bodies is far more significant, especially in light of the referees not giving Cade the calls that he deserves. He's all NBA, seventh in MVP voting. Quit playing with this man. If I'm JB Bickerstaff, I'm getting a tech in the first quarter against Philly. Let them touch him. Let them touch him. Let them touch him. Let them put a hand. Boy, I swear for the God, boy, I be on the refs at pregame. I be walking up to him. I be like, hey, bro, we ain't gonna have that letting them just grab Cade all day. We ain't gonna have them just putting their hands around his waist and pulling him down and hitting his elbow. We not doing the Hackashack or Dwight Howard or LeBron where we just let him get away with just fouling my guy. We ain't having that. I'm just letting you know right now, we not having that. I hope you're looking out for. I sent the NBA film. I sent the NBA film of missed calls. Y'all got a whole list of missed calls on my All NBA, All Star, seventh in MVP voting superstar player. We got to protect the future face of the NBA. Don't be letting folks just hack him. He's going to the rim. He's doing what he's supposed to do, not foul baiting. He's doing what he's supposed to do, just playing through it. But y'all out here playing with him. Don't play with me. You got to tell him that before the jump ball even hits. And they going to be like, oh, I got you. Like, nah, bro. That's where you got to look at him in the face. Nah, do I look like I'm playing with you? Do I look like I'm playing with you? I'm going to be on your ass today. It ain't personal. It's business, bro. This ain't about friendship. I like you off the court right now. I need you to do your job. Protect my superstar. Protect him. I don't want to see him getting hit to the ground like a Cam Whitmore, fouling him in the air and then standing over him. That's not what we're doing today. It's not what we're doing today. That ain't Kelly Oubre, who's a good player. He ain't no all-star. Ain't no Max Strus. Ain't no role player. This is a superstar. You know what this league is. This is why you get paid so much money to referee. Because that guy puts butts in the seats and gets us television revenues. We protect the investment here. You better be on these refs' ass from jump. I'm talking about jump ball. Be like, hey, ref, he's too close to my guy. He's touching his foot. I don't care if it's overzealous. I don't care if it's doing too much. I don't care if you that loud mom in the stands. You better protect Cade from the very beginning. And go get that tech just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. Just to check him. I told you I would. I told you I'm up. They're going to be blanking out. You better talk to them. Get on their ass. Because if we don't protect Cade now, at game number 12, 13, what's he going to look like by game 30-something? What's he going to look like by game 50-something? You know who also played with a lot of reckless abandon? D. Wade. You know when he topped out? Midway through his career. Is that what we're wanting for Cade Cunningham? Be a flash at the beginning? See what I did there? D. Wade, be a flash. Or do we want our superstar to last? That's just the first point. JB, you got to get on their behind. You got to check them. You got to make sure that we are protecting our superstar. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to get into. And I'm kind of going to go through this roster, but I'm going to go through it pretty quick. Win number 9 in a row. Incoming, Rashad Walker in the chat. What's good, bruh? I don't know. I would weigh on the side of yes, because we're going to get our guys back fresh. And I think our style of defense is just a problem for most teams. We're going to see if Joel Embiid is playing. I don't know. But it's going to be a competition for sure. Both teams want to win the NBA Cup. And this series is an opportunity for us to test ourselves with playoff level energy. What it looks like when you're not getting calls, what it looks like when there's more physicality, what it looks like when you have to be that much more locked in and attuned to the scouting report. You had 2 days to view the scouting report. You had 2 days to review the different things in practice, what you need to focus on. Cade Cunningham, my boy, my guy, my boy, my guy. I need you to become a professional scorer. There's a difference. There is a difference between how you get your buckets. Let me see YY23 for life. Put in the chat. Embiid and McCain out. VJ Edgecombe questionable with back spasms. Okay, that's good to know. I appreciate y'all in the chat. Appreciate my chat. My chat be lit. I'm sorry. My chat, this community, y'all be coming with the facts and the data whenever I need a point. Appreciate y'all. Look, Kate Cunningham, I need you to make the game easy. I need you to make the game easy. If you can't make it easy now, what's it going to look like later? And this is something I say in a lot of games when I want to see who is going to likely win from the very beginning of the game to the end. This is the number one factor I look at. Number one factor. Now, and that's negating the obvious stuff if there's injuries, etc., what have you. I look at how teams are scoring early. If you are playing a lot of one-on-one isolation ball early in a game, I go, that's not going to last. That's not going to last. This team's going to lose. If you're scoring easily off backdoor cuts, steals, breakaways to the rim, right? If you're scoring quickly off of simple sets, getting wide open looks, right? Getting to your spots, I go, yep, this team's offense is going to be rolling. Because if you're able to eat with the easy stuff, it opens up space. It opens up space in your offense to be able to get even more. Not just that. Not just that. And when I say get even more, that means that now because you are trying to catch up, I now get to play you off of playing behind me. Right? So if the first time I curled around a screen and you went behind me and I caught it one dribble and I'm at the lay-in, right? I know the next time you're probably going to go underneath, try to cut it off. Right? So now I'm coming around that screen and I quickly stop behind the screen and I got a wide open three. Or you trail really tight trying to cut me off. So I let you ride me and then I put you in jail. I slow down and I got a little floater pull up. Right? So now I'm running the show offensively. But if you're defensively able to take away my primary looks, I get the ball on a dribble handoff and you're already knocking it out my hands. And now I'm forced to try to find a one-on-one player to try to create a shot. If that's happening from the very beginning of the game, that's a bad sign. That tells me our offense is not executing. It's not going to be easy tonight. It's going to be hard work all the way through. And when you think about the length of a game, it doesn't bode well for being able to finish strong if I got to work hard from jump. Cade, you got to start scoring more easily. You've got to get to your spots. You need to have spots. You should have identified your spots. When I'm on a court, I'm looking for wide open threes or pull up and transition threes. I'm looking for my little hezzy cross straight to the rack. I'm looking for, if I got to do any type of one-on-one, I'm giving you the through the legs, and I give you my, they don't really do this move as much, but we used to do this move where you do a little hezzy, and then you take a hard step at him as if you're going to try to explode past him, and then you just pull up right into a little pull-up jumper. And I got arch on my shot. It's wet, right? I already know what I'm trying to get to. If it's a smaller guard guarding me, I'm about 6 feet. So if I got a 5'9", 5'8" guy guarding me, I might be like, you know what, bump this. I'm going straight to the block. I work on my post footwork before I start any type of pickup game. So I go right to the block. Look like I'm trying to set a screen or something. As soon as they get the ball, I just stop. Bow. Right there on the block. Give me the rock. Give me the rock. Come to the ball, catch it, turn, pivot. From 10 to 15 out, maybe I shoot over the top, right off the glass, bank. Or I catch, let them lean into me, and I give them the back down one, back down two, turn up and under. I might give them a little turn, shoot over the top. I might give them a little fake up and then backspin. I got that. I got that in the bag. Got that little Kobe backspin. Backspin, finish with the offhand. Bro, I got my bag, but my bag is intentional. But if I'm honest with you, my bag got intentional as I got older. I don't have the legs to just be trying to do everything all the time. I need you to mature your game, Cade. I need you to mature your game because the fact that you start so slow impedes this team from being able to pull away and take control of games, which forces you into working harder later in the game. That's a reality. Cade, we need a little bit more out of you. We need a little bit more consistency. We need a little bit more reliability in terms of being our primary option, not just closing out games, because we don't want to get in a situation where teams figure us out. And I'm going to get to this point later. Somebody's going to figure us out. Yeah, we got great defense. We get out in transition. We hit the boards hard, right? We're going to play you physical. But there's a lot of weaknesses in this squad. One being Cade's slow starts. And you can take him out of the game by pressing him 94 feet. And if he wants to bring it up, all the better for you, not for us. The second thing, Jalen Duren, we still need you to stay locked in and keep maturing. When Asar Thompson tried to get on you against, I think it was against Philly. Yeah, it was Andre Drummond. When Asar Thompson got on you about getting your hands up on defense, he was right, bro. He was right. You rotated to the guy you were supposed to be guarding, right? You weren't close enough to him, Andre Drummond. And then you closed out with your hands down at your chest. Instead of out, getting big, instead of up, defending the rim, you had your hands down and you leaned away from the contact. Maybe you were trying to prevent yourself from getting a foul call. I get that. But you still got to get your hands up, bro. This is basic defense. So when Asar Thompson is like, bro, get your hands up. First of all, let's not pretend like this is not an issue with you in the first place, Duren. I want to be real with you, Duren. Let's not pretend like this is not an issue with you not having your hands in position, not having your feet in position, not being in position in the first place on defense. Let's not pretend like. Remember, Asar Thompson is playing on a rolled ankle, bro. He's given us all he's got so we could pull out that win. Bro, YY 23 for life. Let me be clear about this. I know you disagree. That was Asar's fault. JD rotated towards Trent and Watford because Cade got blown by on defense. Asar is the corner man. He had to tag JD's man. Like all the good teams, they made it better. True. When you close out, do you ever close out with your hands down? Mark Jackson has a famous statement. He said, hands down, what? What does he say? Hands down, man down. Hands down, man down. If he has his hands up, does Andre Drummond get that simple pass past him? That's the issue. Asar Thompson's looking at him like, bro, I've got a bum ankle, man. I can't fly around. I'm not explosive right now. I'm doing everything I can to stay in the game. And he gave us a full game. I'm glad he got a rest. But he's looking at him like, bro, this is, and the thing is, it's not even your first time, Duren. You've been doing this for 4 years. Slow on a closeout, not in position. So by the time, right, Devereaux, right? Mama, there goes that man. Mark Jackson, one of the best commentators out there. Shoot, I used to like Huey Brown. Him and Mark Jackson, when they would get together, bro, it's nothing but knowledge. Him and Jeff Van Gundy or Stan Van Gundy, when those dudes, Huey Brown, Mark Jackson, when those coaches get up there on the mic, I love listening to them. You just learn so much better than Richard Jefferson and those guys, Chris Webber, Reggie Miller. Like those guys are fun color commentary. The other guys be dropping knowledge, bro. You just be leveling up just listen to their commentary. But I digress. Jalen Duren, we need you to be more consistent on defense. We need you to be in position. We need you to play because right now, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but there's been this movement. Everybody's been giving Jalen Duren all these flowers about his defense. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not saying he's a bad defender. What I am saying is that he's not as good as these casual fans are alluding to. Sometimes that those defensive plus minus, not sometimes, those plus minuses and defensive win shares and all that stuff have a lot to do with who you are playing alongside of in the game. And we know 100% Jalen Duren has to be protected defensively. He cannot hold down defensively our roster without strong defenders around him. Remember, the major transition of Jalen Duren's defense and ability to stay in games and not get into foul trouble from last year was the insertion of Asar Thompson to the starting lineup. When he got into that starting lineup, he covered for Duren, not just with weak side shot blocking, not just with getting deflections so that his man couldn't attack him, but also just rotating and hedging and helping. He insulated Duren. He also contained on the perimeter to ensure that guys couldn't just have straight line drives straight at Duren. He was a godsend for Duren. Should never forget that. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, Duren. That's just with teams. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. If a guy is helping you out, listen to him. Be humble, bro. That's how you last in this game. Humility. Ask questions. Listen. Take accountability, bro. I've been there before too, where it was hard to tell me something. I was a knucklehead at times. And I missed it. Missed opportunities for growth. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Asar's got defense figured out for the most part. Listen to him. That's the guy you listen to. Secondly, Jalen Duren, we need you to shoot more. We need you to shoot more. You're playing Robin to Cade Cunningham's Batman. We need you to shoot more. We need you. I need you at 15 shot attempts minimum every single game. Now, Resball TV, shout out to them. I shouted them out at the beginning of this live. They had a nice sobering episode recently that they dropped, and they were offering some criticism, and they were saying, "Man, we're really disappointed that Jalen Duren is not doing the playmaking that he was doing last season, all the passes." And I was like, "Yo, that's dope. That's dope. I get that Jalen Duren has more in his bag that he can do. But I'm trusting that what we saw last year in terms of Jalen Duren's playmaking is legit. And this year, what he's working on is becoming more of a scoring threat. Because remember, he would be doing playmaking last season, but he would end the game with only 4 shot attempts, leaving shooting 3 or 4, shooting 75% from the field. If you're shooting 75% from the field, why are you only taking 4 shots? That's just a reality. But here's the thing that comes with that. The learning curve of shooting more shots this season is also going to be limiting your turnovers. One of the more significant ones is, Jalen Duren, you got to come to the ball. Somebody throws you a post-entry pass. You have to give them the assurance you are going to snatch that pass. You're on it. I got it. Give me that. Every single time. They need to know on a post-entry, you're going to go get the ball. And then I actually want you to be aggressive. I want you to be aggressive. I want you to be the guy that attacks. Now, I know your playmaking is dope. I'm looking forward to you mixing it up, right? Getting those assists. And this is really, if you watch Alperen Şengün, Domantas Sabonis, those guys who I compare you to, the Chris Webbers, they actually set up their drives through their playmaking. They're looking for the backdoor cut. They're looking for the opposite wing kick out. They're looking for the guy who's wide open, running the secondary action with a dribble handoff, right? They're looking for those things. And because in their eyes, they're looking for it, their defender and the help defenders play them for the pass, which means they go back to their man. They expand out. They open up. And that opening, if they just so happen to take away your teammates from being open and a better option, then you attack. And that puts them in the ultimate conundrum, the ultimate what do we do? Because we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. We're damned if we stay home next to our guys because it opens up the court for you to attack our big off the dribble and score, or we're damned if we do help because then you find the open guy. That's the mindset you have to be in. You have the talent to do it. Now you have the expectation to do it. I'm going to move off of Durant. JB Bickerstaff, we're looking forward to seeing what the rotations are going to look like. That's what we are looking forward to. We want to see how you insert Dennis Jenkins. I don't mind him coming off the bench. I also don't mind him starting. I do know that he deserves about over 20 minutes a game. I'll put it that way. I do know that I want to see him and Cade Cunningham together. See if you can get that Dennis Schroeder, Cade Cunningham chemistry. I do know that I'm really interested to see Isaiah Stewart back in the starting lineup alongside Jalen Duren. And that was another great point from Resball TV. Don't say I don't give people props when they give great points. Go check them out. Dope little Detroit Pistons channel. Really good analytical content. Really good. Nice blend of like, I know what I'm talking about analytically, but I also understand basketball. Shoot, I just lost my point. Damn it. Just lost my point. Hold on a second. Hold on, I'll get it back. Yes, Isaiah Stewart. We want to see him in the starting lineup. And the reality is the fact that he's been able to show that he's going to shoot more threes in the starting lineup while being able to contain on the perimeter. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the game before he was out, there were times where he was switching on to guards and wings on the perimeter and containing, bro, without fouling, containing, shutting them down. And it looked beautiful. It looked masterful. And that was after he had sprained his ankle. It looked great. If he can continue to contain on the perimeter while shooting threes and being an effective front court partner to Jalen Duren, we have found our solution at power forward. But here's the thing. He doesn't need to be everything. Because one thing that we can't lose is our culture, is the heart of our team, which is Isaiah Stewart. And there's no way we can pay him and Jalen Duren to split center minutes. Let's be clear about that. Both are beginning to be too valuable to not play them together. It's almost becoming Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. That's a good problem to have. That's a good problem to have, but one is going to have to find their positionality. They are going to have to settle into what I'm expected to do as I play next to the other. And because Stu and Duren had that season to play together with the coach that shall not be named, because they had that time together and Stu showed he can be over 40%, or I think 38 to 40% three-point shooter, I think it's really increased his confidence. I think we see Isaiah Stewart, and I expect to see Isaiah Stewart continue to start. Look, Tobias Harris understands what the deal is. He's a vet. Moving him to the bench doesn't hurt us, especially when Stu is taking and knocking down threes. I think if we continue to start Stu, it also helps to insulate Duren and beef up our defense that much more. You see what I did there? Isaiah Stewart, beef Stu, beef up our defense, right? Well, it's a little bit of wordplay for the morning. All it's to say is I think that is a great solution moving forward. Isaiah Stewart in that starting lineup. But we still want to see how the rest of the rotations are going to roll out because we still have other guys coming back from injury, which means there's going to be a lot of fluctuation on this roster as guys get healthy. Asara Thompson coming back, Tobias Harris coming back, Isaiah Stewart coming back. Right, we got Karis LeVert looking springy. We got a bunch of guys who are going to be in the rotation, who are going to be trying to acclimate themselves to the expectations and demands of this team and roster. Eventually, Ivy's going to be back, hopefully sooner than later by the new year. And we will be an extremely deep team. We will be an extremely deep team. So, what are the rotations going to look like? These are all things that I believe we're going to start to see answered tonight. One, we'll see who's in the starting lineup, who's available to play this game. Will give us more insight into the depth of their injury. Right? Anyone who was out last game, who's out this game, is going to let us know the injury was a little bit more significant. It wasn't just a rest. YY23 for life. When Stu replaced Tobias Harris, our offense got better. Yep, and the defense um, was insane as we're bottling up and stifling opponents. Facts, facts. Gumby was good in the chat. It's good to see you, my boy. Look, this is gonna be a good game. I got to get up out of here. Go back and check through the video. Um, I like to leave you with a word of the day. Like to leave you with the word of the day. Um, Stay humble. Stay humble. You ain't got to have all the answers. You ain't got to have all the answers, Sway. Little Kanye quote. Um, Stay humble. It's okay to not know and have the answers. It's okay, bro. It's okay. In fact, just like we see in sports, the person that's always asking questions, the person that shows an openness, many times has the most longevity. And that's where they're able to maximize their potential. Ask questions. If you don't know, say you don't know. Don't assume you know. And even when you think you know, be open to not knowing. Because the reality is, just because you know doesn't mean someone else doesn't know. And just because they know something different than what you know doesn't make one of you right and the other one wrong. The reality is, we're all having a different experience to some extent. And our perspective, many times, is objectively correct because we're all having a subjective experience. So don't fight over who's right. Be humble, ask questions, be open, and that'll bring you deeper into relationship or create more opportunities for better communication. So just want to drop that on you for today. I got to get out of here. Holla at y'all later. Peace.